How is it March already? Hi, my name is Paige and welcome to my TBR drive video. I am super excited to find out what I'm going to be reading in March, but wow, February went by so fast. I swear I blinked and it was already at the end of the month and I had so many more books that I needed to read, but I just could not do it. But I do need to update you on last month's TBR. Last month I had to read 4 books. I think I had to read The Hunger Games, a book called The Mighty Miss Malone. I had to read In the Lives of Puppets, and there was one more. What did I read? Why can't I remember? Oh, it's because I didn't read it. A Man Called Ove. So those were the 4 books that I needed to read. I finished The Mighty Miss Malone. I finished In the Lives of Puppets. I got 50% into The Hunger Games, so I'm counting it as read because it was a short month, okay? But I did not start Ove, so I succeeded in some ways because I did read about 14 books last month, but I did not complete my TBR, so we will be taking a punishment later, but let me make sure that I update all the things that I need to update. Starting with my board game. I realized that I have not updated this thing since November. So I went back and I did some math and I figured out how many books that I read for my TBR, how many non-TBR jar books that I read, and I added everything up and I got to move 12 spaces forward. So we're gonna update the board right now. Unfortunately though, I pulled a moon card last month, which are my challenge cards, and they are the ones that let me know if I'm going to have to actually take a real punishment. So last month I got a great moon card. It said that I got to mood read for all of my prompts. As long as the books fit the prompts, it counts. Well, I mood read. I did. I mood read, but I did not complete all 4 of my prompts from last month. So that means I did not succeed in this because my books did not match the prompts. So I decided that I'm gonna roll a d20 as my punishment number. Before, my rules was that I had to count how many numbers I had moved and then do a random number generator, but I feel like a d20 gives you a wide range of numbers to move backwards, and so I was hoping for a really small number, so I did my roll. And I got a 19. I had a gut feeling the second the dice left my hand that I was gonna get a nat 20, and I almost did. I got a 19, so. All of that movement, where I gotta move 21 spaces forward, I had to move back basically. So we are right here. If I just had to move 18, we would have been great and could have bumped to one of the holographic spots, but no, nope, it had to be 19. So we got bumped back basically to the beginning, but that's okay. It just means I have to read way more of these books that are on my shelves. And for my TBR game, I roll a d8 to figure out how many books I'm going to be reading in the month. So let's see what I rolled. And I rolled a 6, which isn't the worst. It wasn't an 8, so it's something. But the past few months have been nicer to me, but I can handle a 6. So let's go ahead and pull our first prompt. And we pulled self-help, and coincidentally I have one self-help book on my shelves, which is perfect. This is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and I was recommended this by, I want to say Kimberly Reads, and she told me that it was just a really fun one to read. It made her feel very excited to kind of refresh her life a little bit, so I bought it based on that recommendation. I saw it on sale one day and I decided to pick it up because I like self-help books. I know they're a little cheesy sometimes, and sometimes their messages aren't always the greatest, but it's just something to like get your motivation going. I love watching morning routines and nighttime routines, or people trying to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning for an entire week. I love stuff like that. I love productivity because sometimes I just am not really great at it. So it's a way to kickstart my brain into trying to do things that are better for myself is what I'm hoping. So I'm hoping that this is a good one. I've heard about this title a lot, so I feel like it has to be pretty good, and it was recommended. So I am excited to get to this one. Let's see what we rolled next. I love this prompt, audiobook. So I am going to go off of a book that I purchased in January when it came out, which was Spare. I'd heard a lot of people talking about it and I just wanted to know what the hype was about, so I used one of my Audible credits and got Spare and figured that this would be something that I could listen to. I've had it on my like wishful TBR the past couple of months because I do want to read it. I just want to know what it's about, what the information was, and I will let you know how I feel about it probably in a video later on. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. What did we get next? We got this last month as well, which is one of my favorite prompts actually, because I like talking to my friends on Discord, and so I give them 4 options again like I did last month, and these were ones that I felt like were pretty short so it wouldn't be too long for me to read. They had audiobook options for me, and I got a tie. So I went ahead and asked a friend if they could pick a tiebreaker, and they didn't see the notification yet. So I am just going to break the tie for myself and I am going to read Thank You for Listening by Julia Whalen because I've been really wanting to read this one. I picked it up a really long time ago when I was doing the audiobooks narrators that I love pick my books for me vlog that I did. I don't remember what I titled that. You can watch it here if you want to, but Julia Whalen is one of my favorite audiobook narrators, so I decided to get the book that she wrote, which is a love story based on audiobook narrators, I think. I don't know if they have to like narrate a book together and they fall in love. I'm not really sure about it, but it's an audiobook narrator love story written by an audiobook narrator, which sounds so fun and I really want to read it. So if I check the tiebreaker and somebody broke the tie, I'm sorry. You were a little too late for me because I needed to film this video really badly. For prompt number 4, we pulled a young adult, which is perfect because last month I was trying to get through a video that I was filming, and one of the books I needed to read was Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, and I did not get to this one. It just is one of the ones that I kept pushing back because it wasn't for my TBR jar. So I decided that since it is YA, I can just push it over into this month and it fits perfectly. But this is following Maverick, who is the daughter of Star in The Hate U Give, and it's his story about being, I think, a teenager and then like a teenage dad and everything that he had to go through. So I've been wanting to read this for so long. This has been on my TBR for a very long time, since I read The Hate U Give, and I think this came out not long after I read that. So it's one that I've really wanted to read, and I am glad that it's going to be read. And it's the perfect excuse because I have to read it for my TBR jar now. Prompt number 5 is a non-Western fantasy. So I had an idea of which one I could pick, but I made sure and looked up on different lists on Google and on Goodreads and stuff, and one that always kept coming up is one that I've had my eye on for a while, and that is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. And I'm not entirely sure what this is about, honestly, but everyone has read it, and I think it said it's like a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy. If I am correct about that, let me read the little inside flap so I know more about this. Okay, briefly, it looks like there is a female character who does not believe in magic and one day accidentally summons a djinn, and the djinn and her go to the City of Brass where a potential war is going to be going on. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that I own the entire series, so I am crossing my fingers and toes that I love this so that I can read the entire series and enjoy it instead of read the entire series and just like trudge through it because I bought the books. I'm gonna read all 3 of the books, but crossing my fingers. I've heard mixed things about this one on how much people like it, but I've heard good things about the other 2. So fingers crossed, toes crossed. I hope I like it. And for prompt number 6, we pulled Phone a Friend. So I messaged Randy Lynn and asked her if she would send me a video because I didn't want to coordinate a phone call, and let me know what she wanted me to read. So she sent me a video. I haven't watched it yet, and we are going to find out what it is.
Hello, sweet Paige. I would love to pick a book for you. I went through your Goodreads want to read list.
Thank you.
And I saw a book on there that I have read, and I'm almost 100% certain you own it already. So I'm going to choose Rhapsodic by Laura Palassa. I very much enjoyed it, and I think you will too.
Okay, this is perfect. Let me go grab that book. All right, she picked Rhapsodic by Lauren Thalassa. This one is about a character named Calypso, and it looks like she owes somebody named the Bargainer a bunch of IOUs, and he hasn't cashed in on any of them, but in this book, it seems like he finally does. I'm not sure if this is a spicy romance or a dark romance, but I do know that it is a romance. I'm not sure if it's paranormal. I think it is. Fantasy romance, and I saw that Randy Lynn liked this one a while ago, and I've really wanted to read it since I heard that she liked it, because we tend to like the same books and have the same feelings on all of the books that we read together. So thank you so much for picking this one. I'm super duper excited. All right, we made it through all of my prompts without a draw an extra prompt card, which makes me super duper excited, but I do still have some more books to talk about, starting with my book club. The story continued. March's pick is Stone Blind by, is it Natalie Haynes? I should have written this down. I just wrote down the title, but I believe that this is a Medusa retelling. We've been wanting to read it for a few months now, finally saved it till March, and we are going to get it. I grabbed the audiobook for it, and I am very eager to get into this one, and the audiobook is only like 8 hours, which makes me super duper happy. I love short audiobooks. And for my 12 classics in 12 months, I'm carrying on with my Jane Austen theme. I didn't plan to just read Jane Austen at the beginning of this, but that's just the way it's going. And we are reading Emma, which I believe is about a character named Emma who thinks she's a good matchmaker but is not a good matchmaker, and then ends up falling in love along the way. I'm not entirely sure, but I have enjoyed all of the Jane Austens that I've read. I think that this is most people's next favorite behind Pride and Prejudice, so I'm excited to get to this one. I do really dislike how long these books are, and this one feels like one of the longest. Yeah, it's almost 500 pages. But I will give it a go every single day and try and not spend 2 full days reading the books like I did with Mansfield Park. But whatever, I'm enjoying it. And I also got a Kindle, and I've been loving it, but I have been trying to challenge myself to read my ARCs that I got on NetGalley, and I need to read London Sand Society that is coming out in a couple of days, honestly. So I'm going to try and read it in this first week of March and get my review out for that. But that is the ARC that I'm trying to read, just because I want to have a better NetGalley score, because I think I'm in the 40s right now. And for the buzzword readathon, the word is secret, and I'm going to be trying to read The Secret Society, or The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I requested this on Libby about a month ago, and I still have like a 7-week hold, so not sure if we will get to this one, but we're gonna hope that the audiobook comes in. If it doesn't, it's not very long, so I could read it with my own eyes, but like, my brain can't handle it anymore. It has to be an audiobook or nothing for me these days. And the final book that I'm planning to read is A Proposal They Can't Refuse, which is going to be with the Concrete Rose video that I have. This is just one that I started and I haven't finished it, so I'm going to be finishing it out in the month. Other than that, I will be partaking in the Backlist Readathon, which my friend Aspasia is one of the co-hosts for, and I do not have my TBR put together for that, but I'm going to make a separate video for that if you would like to watch the vlog in a couple of weeks, so make sure you're subscribed to see that one. But I do know that a few of these books I'm going to try and squeeze into that video so that I can make sure that I'm getting those bookathons, that's not what it's called, readathon prompts taken care of. Okay, so I thought that this was a smaller stack than it is. This is huge. This is huge. So wish me all the luck in the world on finishing this, but if you have made it this far in the video, leave me a rose emoji so that I know that you watched it and are wishing me all of the luck. But other than that, I think that is all that I have left to say. This stack is going to fall over and I need to put it away. So I will see you in my next video, which will be out very, very shortly. All right, thank you so much for watching.